ceasefire. This is not an announcement, mind you, that has come from the Indian or the Pakistani side, although there were some notes made by the Pakistani leadership this afternoon that they were willing to de-escalate if India does not attack them any further. That in fact was the precise message that India wanted to send to Pakistan, that you better stop now or worse will follow. Has US now finally managed to mediate some sort of a de-escalation? That's the tweet coming in from Donald Trump. After a long night of talks mediated by the United States, I'm pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. My colleague Anand is also joining us with that tweet.
Look at this one straight up. After a long night of talks mediated by the United States, these are the pictures. I am pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. Congratulations to both countries on using common sense and great intelligence. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, this is significant because it's Donald Trump who's announced this exactly at 5:33 p.m. IST. That's when he has made this announcement. He's just posted this placard on his Twitter handle. So, President of the United States making the announcement earlier in the day. Shivani and Siddhant will be joining us any moment now. And viewers, please remember, earlier in the day, we had the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, having a direct conversation with General Asim Munir. It was not even with Shehbaz Sharif, but with the Pak Army Chief, Asim Munir. So, America very clear who needs to be spoken with. And after that conversation, Secretary Marco Rubio had a conversation with External Affairs Minister EAM Jaishankar and that is S. Jaishankar. So there has been conversation and America got involved on the morning of 10th of May, that is this Saturday, after what happened late last evening, the direct escalation by the Pak military and the immediate retaliation by Bharat. So America asking both nations to dial down immediately, and then through the day what we have seen is both sides trying to give each other an off-ramp, with Shehbaz Sharif claiming that they have avenged whatever was inflicted upon them by Bharat. They have, and making some tall claims at their end, which a lot of it the PIB has already fact-checked as false. But on the other hand, Bharat also telling Pakistan that any future act of terror will be equated and considered an act of war. Yeah. That's the biggest off-ramp that Bharat could have given to the Pakistanis, and that itself hints at a de-escalation. But it's an uneasy 24 to 48 hours going forward now. Yes. Because the fact is that at this point, it's an uneasy 24 to 48 hours because there is confirmed intelligence that has said that Pakistan has already sent in infiltrators. So there are jihadi groups which are on Bharatiya soil. Now, if there is any attack at any military installation, then Bharat has given a clear warning not just to Pakistan but to the entire world that if there is any other incident that happens, so future does not mean in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, it means 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, but it also means the next 24 to 48 hours and at immediate in this one. Yes.
To our colleague Zaka Jacob, who's also joining us with more perspective. Zaka, possibly the only man who could have influenced both countries to agree to this, but important to note here that India hasn't announced anything yet.
You know, this same thing has now been retweeted and posted on X by Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. Remember, he's had multiple conversations just in the last few hours. He spoke first with the Chief of Army Staff there in Pakistan, General Munir, after which he spoke to Dr. Jaishankar. He's also spoken to the Pakistani Prime Minister on multiple occasions in the last couple of weeks. So yes, Marco Rubio has played an important role, but as Anand was referring to and you were referring to, Donald Trump posting on Truth Social early morning there in the US, this would be Saturday morning in the US, that both India and Pakistan have announced a ceasefire. He's of course also gone on to say that it has come under his own sort of leadership after a long night of talks mediated by the United States. I'm pleased to announce that both India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. Congratulations to both countries on using common sense and great intelligence. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, we will get confirmation, of course, from the Indian side in about 20 minutes' time when the Foreign Secretary addresses the press along with the two officers of the Indian Air Force and the Indian Army. But what has brought this about is going to be a critical question. I think the fact that India responded in a proportionate and very effective manner, taking out some of the frontline and forward air bases of Pakistan, that is an absolutely critical factor that played a role in getting Asim Munir to climb down. Secondly, the conversation that Marco Rubio had directly with the army chief, bypassing in a sense the civilian government, bypassing the Prime Minister, because let's face it, at the end of the day, this was a military matter, and a military matter at the end of the day is decided by the Pakistan Army Chief. I think that phone call played an important role, which is why right after the President of the United States put this out on his Truth Social. It was Marco Rubio who then put a screenshot of that up on X, up on Twitter, saying that both India and Pakistan have agreed to a full ceasefire, an immediate ceasefire, under, of course, Donald Trump's leadership. Now, we've been talking about this, why, the Americans have been taking a very hands-offish approach. J.D. Vance, a couple of days ago, speaking to Fox News, said, it's not our problem. It's countries, Pakistan and India. It's up to them to figure it out. We're not going to have a dog in this fight, so on and so forth. But ultimately, I think pressure was brought to bear, and I think it's worth underlining the role that was played by Marco Rubio. He's also the acting national security advisor, so he had a conversation on the night of Operation Sindoor, right after the operation got concluded. He had spoken with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. He's spoken in the last 2 days twice to Dr. Jaishankar, and also this morning, like I said, to the Pakistan Army Chief and to the Pakistan Foreign Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar. So I think really American pressure was brought to bear on both sides to agree to the ceasefire. What the terms and conditions of this ceasefire are, we don't know. What the off-ramp was for Asim Munir, we don't know. But I think one thing is very, very certain. The fact that Asim Munir tried everything in his book, from drones, then armed ammunition, then trying to attack India's air bases. None of that succeeded, and India, on the other hand, gave him an effective and proportionate response, and that seems to have really got better sense to prevail. What this will mean in terms of, what is his own future, his own tenure as continuation as Army Chief. Remember, his tenure is up in November and he's not got an official extension yet. So maybe he might actually get replaced, because let's face it, in this entire, if you were to keep scores in this entire thing, Asim Munir did not even get to land a punch. Forget about trying to go one up on India. It was Pakistan that escalated. Pakistan could not find escalation dominance in each of those rungs, and now it has been forced to climb down. So I think at some level this has to be good news, because things were getting a little out of hand in that sense. But now Donald Trump saying that there has been an immediate ceasefire, both parties have agreed to it. What the contours of it are, and of course confirmation from the Indian side, you will get in about 20 minutes time.